And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for another special edition of the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show, presented by, as always, our friends and neighbors at Marshall Hometown Tire. Kenneth the K-Rock Klein here. Don't bother putting down the subtitles for me because we already know that. But, you know, folks, here at ETBU, we take pride in covering our traditional sports, the club sports, and also sports that have been very emerging and on the rise, and one sport in particular, acrobatics and tumbling. And we are pleased to be joined by our head acrobatics and tumbling head coach, Farrah Dunaway. Coach Dunaway, you know, getting ready for another second season of acrobatics and tumbling. How have things been going well as far as the preseason and everything that's been going on?
Well, one of the major differences that this is not as foreign to me. So having 1 year under my belt as a coach has helped extremely in just, you know, trying to learn my process and what I'm doing in preseason, what I'm doing, you know, to build practices, to keep my players safe, to work up strategies on how to get the best or maximum score out of our start value. And, you know, so just 1 year experience alone for me is huge. You know, just, and then with the returners, obviously they have 1 year of experience. So that's been huge too, because now I have one set of athletes that I can just say, hey, I need this to happen over in this corner of the mat, and they can actually do it. I don't have to take as much time to cultivate that. I have leaders now that can help that. And last year I had the leadership, but they didn't know what they were doing yet. So so it's nice to see the role that the returners play in that process. But yeah, it's great to be able to be back a second year and to have the team almost double in size. And I just can't wait to see what happens this semester or this season.
Absolutely, Coach. And certainly, like you said, you know, you have some of your returners, of course, with 1 year under their belt. So they kind of have the understanding of what goes into an acrobatic and tumbling season as well. And that's going to probably be a huge beneficial, well, however you say that word, I don't really know, but a benefactory, I guess we'll go with that, to the newcomers that are, you know, joining the team as well. So, you know, team bonding wise, I mean, what has the team been able to do during the off season to kind of bond together as a team prior to getting set for the upcoming season?
So I'm really big on team bonding. I think it's just a huge part or crucial part of any program. And fortunately, we have the ability in the season prior to our competitive season in the year to take that time to do so while learning the skills. And what we do in particular is before, or the first day that we can actually meet up to work with a team, we go to Thomas Falls in Diana and we do a mud run. So there are a couple of reasons that we do that, a couple of objectives that we are looking for at the end of the day. So I divide the team into two groups, and they have two objectives. They have to compete, and they have to finish the course without leaving one of their teammates behind. So in this course, it's hot. They're running through, you know, insect-infested forests. They're you know, shin deep in mud. They're going through challenges that, you know, one person may be more fearful of crossing, you know, this muddy moat on a log, as you know, whereas another athlete is going to be more fearful of climbing up an A-frame in water on a rope and then sliding down, you know. So it's really great to see that they're able to recognize what they're scared of, but also to be able to see that there's something that they're scared of and be able to overcome it at the end of the challenge. And then, you know, while they're doing this, the support of their, you know, I put them in blue and gold, but the support of their blue and gold teams at the end of it was just huge, because they're not leaving their teammates behind. They're seeing that they have a teammate that's struggling, and they're doing whatever they can to get that teammate to be able to muster whatever, you know, brave aspect that they have just to get over that challenge and to succeed. So it's really cool at the end of the day to be able to laugh about what they were scared of and what they did to overcome that challenge. So, you know, and I always use it as a metaphor, because this sport, there's a lot of things that they're going to be asked to do that are in the world of the unknown and scary, and you know, because it is unknown. And so to be able to look at a task and see that it's this huge mountain, but be able to foster that that initiative or that motivation to overcome it is what we see every day in acrobatics and tumbling practice. So that's why I like to do that at the beginning of the year, so that we can use that as a metaphor, so that when we see those challenges throughout practice and meet times, that we have the mental capacity to be able to handle those challenges. As a team, we also do a lot of community service. We work with the Lift Ministry that's at Emmanuel Baptist Church, and that's a special needs worship service, and we just have the best time with them. We'll do we did our team Bible study. We've been focusing on who they are in Christ and their identity in Christ. And so they were able to paint a 5x7 little canvas representing who they are in Christ, or who they say God calls them as, which has been really neat and really good to be able to share that with each other. So we have a good time outside of the mat time, just learning each other's, what motivates them, what ticks them off, that kind of stuff every day, learning each other process.
After hearing all that, especially with the mud run, I'm just going to say, if I had a white flag, I'd just throw in the towel and basically say,
it is so fun. It's so fun to watch.
I know, so fun, but it's so grueling. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to go through that process. I'd probably just pass out in the mud or something like that.
So what they added this year, which was really great, they added this huge water slide. So yes, they're muddy. Yes, they've got chunks and whatever stuck to them all over. But at the end of it, there's actually this huge water slide that they're able to go and then land into the natural river water that it's filtered and clean. So yes, there's this struggle, but yes, there's a cool slide. I even did the slide with them.
That's nice. So,
it was fun.
So obviously there's an end goal there through all the challenges and all.
Yes.
And once you get that off, this really cleansing. I'll tell you what, I knew there was a lot that goes into acrobat and tumbling, but obviously the mental struggles and the strengths and everything that you have to go through is there. So obviously we're starting to see a rise from acrobatic and tumbling in years past. Obviously you have your strong programs like Baylor and Oregon, the teams that obviously are often in national championship, but we're starting to see more teams add into that. Do you think acrobatic and tumbling has kind of taken on a role, it's gone from a sport that a lot of people might not know about to possibly one of the most emerging sports out there?
Yeah, I do. This sport was created several years ago by a group of really amazing and passionate women. And I think with the adoption by the NCAA that just took place this semester, I think that it's actually going to blow up. I've already just started seeing several youth clubs begin programs that are associated with USA Gymnastics. And I'm just really excited to see that they are recognizing the NCAA's adoption of this being a sport, and so they're seeing, hey, if it's going to be a collegiate sport, then we need to get on board and start preparing some athletes so that they are ready to be part of this program when they get to college. What's really cool, I didn't know if you know this, but the only other sport that started at a collegiate level is football.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because obviously there was, a lot of times, because football, it's been around for over, 150 years or so, especially with the last college football season being in its 150th season. But like you said, it's emerging obviously, but could you potentially see acrobatics and tumbling go to levels like maybe say at the Olympics? Because, we have the gymnastics, we have the swimming. Could it be possibly that if it continues to build at the rate it's going at, could you see it maybe sometime in the Summer Olympics or so?
Yeah, absolutely. It's right now it's connected with USA Gymnastics, and we're scored like gymnastics. So everything that we have has a start value, and I think that there's a ton of things at the Olympics that are not necessarily at the collegiate level, but yeah, it may take a hot minute, but I definitely see that there's a possibility for that to be there. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, hopefully so. Maybe by 2028 or 2032,
sure.
Depending on where the Olympics games are, that might be there. So this season, obviously, of course, once again, you're on the road for most of the year. But the good news for y'all is you're starting your season this Sunday at home at O'Neill's Gymnasium. So obviously, for those that might not be familiar with acrobatic and tumbling, they'll get an early head start to seeing it. competing at home obviously is a very special thing for y'all, because you're at your home gym, you have the support of the students and faculty as well as the members of the Marshall community. But how much of that does that bring to you in order for you wanting to perform and wanting to give the fans a perfect treat, especially at home?
I think, just being at home and having the comfort of your house is key anyway. The team's excited. The team's excited to have their peers watch them. Again, because it's a new sport, there's not a lot of familiarity with what goes on. And I think that some of them get misconstrued as being similar to cheerleaders. And so I think that they're excited to be able to perform at home so that their fans and the support system can see the vast difference that it is and be educated as to what the sport actually is. So I know they're excited about that. They're proud of who they're competing for. They're proud of being part of East Texas Baptist University, and they can't wait to, compete and show off in their house.
Absolutely. So, well, Sunday afternoon going to be exciting for y'all as you take the court, or the mat, I guess you could say. The mat's covering the court at Ornelas Gymnasium, taking on Mary Hardin Baylor for their first meet. I believe that's at 4 o'clock as well.
4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you very much for reminding me the time. That's going to do it for another edition of the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. Tune in next time. We'll have our next coach next time on this YouTube channel.